What? It's a civil case. Why
Yeah.
are you getting a lawyer? Which, ma'am, sir, ma'am, sir. Oh my God. Please keep everything that's happening. What
What
the
is
fuck, Gunter?
happening?
Gunter, what in the
He has never done that before. Ever.
what is your problem, dude? He's going back. What the fuck?
Stand by please, electric sound, wardrobe, wig, stage management, stage crew, flyers and all technical departments.
Welcome to Leave the Ghost Light On. Ding dong. Oh,
I did
hi.
something I did something extra fun last night.
Oh, yeah.
So I've been trying, like, I'm kind of like an exercise person, just a little bit,
Mhm.
just trying to stay in shape, especially for my job.
Mhm.
But it is so gosh darn hot in Vegas, like
No way.
literally in the hundreds at all
Ugh.
times that like I don't want to go to the gym after work. I don't want to go
Yeah,
outside
duh.
and walk. And so I ended up buying one of those little at-home treadmills or
Oh.
walking pads. It was on sale and I bought it not too long ago and it's actually really, really good.
Hmm.
But what I did last night was I ended up walking 4 miles on this thing
Nice.
because I was having a good time. Because what I did is on
Mhm.
YouTube, they have walking, like it's like at home walking videos that you can just
Oh.
watch where it's somebody walking at like a nice normal pace and it's like you can walk through a national park or there's an
Oh.
animated one where like you can walk from Hogsmeade to Hogwarts, like stuff like that.
Oh, that's cute.
So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna do that because I want to do a little bit of exercise. Why not? And so last night I randomly found a walking path through Salem.
Gasp.
And so I shut off all the lights because it was nighttime. I turned all of our fancy lights to like creepy lighting and watched this video
Ooh.
of somebody walking through Salem at
Oh my
3
God.
a.m. while listening to my favorite podcast, and that's why we drink, and their
Ooh.
episode where they talked about all of the places in Salem that are haunted.
Oh my God. And so let's tell the people why all of that is so cool. I will be in Salem on the
Yeah.
whatever days those are. 8, 9, 10. Yes,
Mhm.
September 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
Yee! And so
I know
I
that's
get to explore all the cool things.
I know, I'm so jealous. You're gonna have so much fun. I'm gonna find you all the things to do.
Da Okay, yes, please
Oh.
give
Oh
me
my
as
gosh.
many
Oh
lists
my
as you
gosh.
need to. Oh, and there's a juniper. Uh-huh.
She
What are we
started bad at
doing,
stuff.
ma'am?
She's batting at stuff.
Good. Oh, hi, baby.
Oh, but she just fell.
Hey,
Um,
baby.
yeah. No, it was so much fun though. So, and it was cool. Like
Great.
I've never been to Salem, so I didn't know how like the whole
Yeah,
streets
I haven't
were
either.
laid out. And like you just start up and
Ooh,
you're like, "Oh, there's the witch's house," and like stuff like that. So,
cool. Oh, that sounds
yeah.
fun.
Yeah, it was freaking awesome. So,
Neato.
as soon as I did it, I was like, "This is pretty cool. I gotta talk about this."
Yay! I like that.
Mhm.
Well,
What have you been
Kiri's
doing this
extra
week?
tired right now because,
Oh.
we spent the day at Packapalooza, which is, like, the big, first weekend event thing for NC State,
Mhm.
which is they closed down
Oh.
Hillsboro, which is, like, the giant, like, main thoroughfare on campus, and
Mhm.
all of the student organizations are out and, like, trying to get people to sign up and, like, all this kinda cool stuff, so, I was underneath the arts tent, which is, like, massive, massive, and we've got, like, the craft center and university
Mhm.
theater and the Gregg Museum and, like, all of the a cappella companies, like,
Yeah.
everybody is there, so I brought Kiri, so she was having a wonderful time
Aw.
meeting all the people and so now she's extra, extra tired, which is great.
Nice. That's fun. That sounds, like, so good.
And
'Cause Mhm.
I did
Yeah.
pick up the keys for my new apartment today. Oh my
Yay! I was
god.
gonna
Oh my god,
ask
and I
you
went
about it.
in and I was like, "Holy shit.
Is it nice?
Oh my god, it's incredible. It's
Oh.
like it's rad. It's rad. It's such a cool
Oh.
setup, and it's like, oh, so I need you to
Mhm.
come visit, like
Yes.
ASAP.
I know, I've been looking at, like, little weekend trips and stuff like that, and so, yeah,
Ooh.
I think I'm not think, I know I want to. So, maybe we can plan something in November because we
Guess what
have
I also heard
mutual
about?
birthday. Why?
True. Um, it's not here, it's in Jersey, unfortunately, but,
Uh-huh.
Paracon,
What's that?
the paranormal conference. It's like the Comic-Con,
Ooh!
but for paranormal shit, and, like,
Yes.
so many cool people will be there. I'm sure Steve will be there. I'm pretty
Mhm.
sure he's listed already. Like, a
Yeah.
whole bunch of cool like, Amy Bruni and, like, all the people from, like, a bunch of different TV shows and stuff. The
Mhm.
Ghost Brothers, oh my god, the Ghost Brothers are gonna
Yeah.
be there. Oh my god, I love them
I
so much.
I don't know if, my people will be there, but usually and That's Why We Drink, Em and Christine, they're usually there
Oh,
too.
we should
So
check. That'd be
mhm.
amazing.
That would be
'Cause that
fun.
new friend that I just made, her name is
Mhm.
Kelly, and she's amazing, and we're already in love with each other.
Hello, Kelly.
Hi, Kelly. She listens to this, so I'm very excited for her to hear about this. Um, we met on a Thursday, and we're like, "Well, I love you."
Yep.
Yep.
Nice. Oh,
And
good.
and she told me about Paracon, and I was like, "I know I've heard of this, but, like,
Mhm.
now I really wanna go because like, her and her
Yeah.
company are going," and I'm like, "Oh my god, I really wanna go.
Yeah, well,
It would
send
be
me
so
the
cool."
dates.
Okay.
Let's see if we can do it,
Let's
so,
do it. I
yeah.
think it's the very last weekend of Mr. Burns,
Mhm.
so during my show the last weekend, but
Yeah.
if I, like, come back on, like, Saturday night or whatever, then it's probably fine. So
Yeah. And speaking of, me needing to come and visit, you need to come and visit, so,
oh,
at some point.
do
So,
I?
yeah. If I'm coming to you, you gotta come to me.
Okay,
However, though,
fine.
if you remember, this is why we always end up going to New York because it's like,
Right.
what if
I
we
don't
just meet somewhere
know.
else? Like, I don't
My
not that
bad.
I don't wanna go to North Carolina, it's always expensive in North Carolina, that's
Yes.
why the flight
Mhm.
is. And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah,
now
it's
I feel
hard
like I'm
getting
being
right here,
watched.
so mhm. I suppose I could come out there at some point. Mhm.
Okay, well, last thing before we get started, are you drinking anything interesting?
Oh, not interesting, just wine and water. It's
Nice. I
what I
am
have.
drinking so, in my Margaritaville glass, 'cause that's the kind of
Woo-hoo-hoo.
week it's been, I'm
Mhm.
drinking watermelon vodka. Sorry, watermelon
Ayy.
juice mixed with vodka, not just
Oh,
this
okay.
isn't
I was
all
like, that's
vodka.
all Jesus, girl.
Okay, are we ready?
I think so.
Okay. Well, I have Le
Tragedy?
Tragedy,
I mean,
today.
could
Le
be.
Travesty is, a character in Oh, so,
Oh.
anyway, um, so I have the, tragedy today, so I will be going first, I do believe.
Hawaii.
I'm excited for this one. This one is a doozy, as I would say. So I am going to be covering the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus.
Ooh.
So,
I can't even imagine. I'm sure there's a lot of shit.
uh-huh. So I'm just going to be talking about one specific incident, which I will get into in a second. Um, but for the most part, this one's a little bit, not out of our realm necessarily because it is theatery. It's just not in a theater necessarily. So, the Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey Circus is better known as the greatest show on earth.
Ba-ba-da-ba.
Um, so I'm just gonna ask you like some random questions. So
Mm.
I feel like most people have probably heard of at least Ringling Brothers, if not Barnum and Bailey.
Mhm.
Do you have any idea what year the circus started?
That they made?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna guess, like I'm gonna say, like, 1870s.
Oh my gosh.
Am I the smartest?
1871.
I am the smartest woman alive.
You are! Oh my god. I think that is the best guess that we have had so far on any
Ding
of our trivia
dong.
things. Good job. So,
I'm the
yes,
smartest
so
woman
this
alive.
I'm the smartest woman alive. Yeah, so it was founded in 1871, which was 153 years ago.
Damn.
So the first one to start, it was created by P.T. Barnum and James Bailey. So hence the Barnum and Bailey Circus. So
Mhm.
for anybody who has seen The Greatest Showman with
Mhm.
Hugh Jackman, which
Not
by the
me.
way, a quick little secret insider, it's coming to Broadway as it should because it's got some bangers of songs.
Ooh, okay.
So good.
Okay.
I would love to work on that show. Anyway, really quick, your homework tonight is to go home and watch Greatest Showman. Anyway, it's fantastic.
Okay.
So, The Greatest Showman follows, kind of like the beginning structure of P.T. Barnum's life, which is who, Hugh Jackman portrays. So the movie is obviously fantastical and beautiful and a gorgeous showing of unity and inviting people who are different to all come together and all that kind of stuff. Danica, do you know a lot about P.T. Barnum?
Not as a guy, no. No. I
What
just,
else would you
like
know him as?
I mean, like, not as a person, like, no. Like
P.T. Barnum the person? No, P.T. Barnum the plant? Hell yeah.
yes, I know everything about that motherfucker.
Okay.
Just yeah, no.
No, that's fine. Okay, so P.T. Barnum is probably one of the most famous, like, people that has ever, like, started a circus. I mean, he's like the OG kind of a thing.
Mhm,
And so in Greatest Showman, he, like, essentially made P.T. Barnum look very good and
mhm.
everything. Um, that's not the case in real life. P.T. Barnum was kind of not really a great person.
That was my fear.
Yeah. So, like, he made the greatest show on earth, but, like, at what cost kind of a thing. So I
Mm.
wasn't gonna get too much into this, but so he did do a good job of employing all kinds of different people in all different walks of life and, never turned anybody away, and also obviously really liked people who were different.
Mhm.
But his purpose was to make money, not be
Yeah, and
inclusive.
I was gonna say, like, I feel like that's more just about exploitation.
Yeah, it's one of those, like, I feel like it's a weird gray line of, like, this person wouldn't have had a job anyway and was already homeless on the street, so now they have a job, but their job is people making fun of them. Like, you know what I like,
Yeah, it doesn't feel great.
yeah, so but anyway, that's not how it starts in the movie. So, um, so the circus actually first opened more as like a museum. And this museum had exhibits and it was kind of like a zoo, so it had lots of animals, and then it also had more famously like the freak show.
Okay.
Um, Also, the last thing that I'll say about P.T. Barnum being really bad is that one of the things that he used to do is he used to try and like make different species of animals.
Oh, come on.
So,
No.
like, there's a
Oh.
famous thing that goes around that's called the mermaid, but it's because he took a monkey and a fish and, like, sewed them together.
Oh my hell.
I'm pretty
Come
sure they
on.
were dead at the time, but I
I
don't know.
would
Anyway,
hope
he just
so.
he did weird stuff like that.
What?
He also liked to lie a lot about, like, "Oh, a 400-pound man," and it's like, really, it's just, the person's 250 pounds, or, the bearded lady is not actually a bearded lady, it's a man in a woman's dress, that kinda stuff. So, anyway, anything to make money.
Right.
So yeah, so like I said, it started out as a zoo, and that's when it was just Barnum and Bailey. However, though, they did start to travel around, kind of in like a circus style, but it was still more based like a museum or a zoo.
Mm.
And while they were traveling around, uh, in 1865, it burned down.
Oh, good.
So, and he decided to restart it, and then it burned down again in 1868.
Um, fool me once,
I know.
shame on
Yeah,
me.
so I didn't do a lot of research into that, but essentially Barnum decided to give up. Now, if you remember me saying earlier, though, the lovely date that you guessed very correctly was 1871, and these things happened in the 60s. So that
Yeah.
doesn't technically count as the start. Really, what the start was is that Barnum was pulled out of his retirement after deciding to give up on when his freaking museum burned down twice, which is fair. But they eventually, a bunch of investors and a bunch of other people pulled him out of retirement in 1871 to start P.T. Barnum's Great Traveling Museum, Menagerie, Caravan, and Hippodrome.
It's really just slides right off the tongue, right?
It's so many words, but it's what they went with. Okay, so this is kind of more so starting to look like what the classic circus looks like that we think of. And I wanted to do a side note dive into one of their most famous attractions, which is Jumbo. Do you know who Jumbo is?
I'm gonna guess the elephant
He's an elephant.
because I'm thinking of Dumbo, so
Yeah.
maybe that's a cop out.
No, it's so yes, so Jumbo was the most famous attraction at the P.T. Barnum Circus. He at the time was the world's largest elephant,
Oh,
standing at 13 feet tall from the ground to his shoulder. Um, and I
is
looked it
that
up.
super tall for an elephant?
So I looked it up. It's not crazy for now, but the one of the largest elephants on record is 13 feet tall. That's
Oh,
just more so, but like that's more of in captivity, whereas like if you were to go measure an
mhm.
elephant in the wild, they're gonna be a little bit bigger. That's kind of usually
Oh.
how it goes. But you gotta think in the 1800s, not a lot of people were going to Africa. So
Not a lot of elephant measuring happening.
yeah, not a lot of elephant measuring happening, not a lot of tourism happening, all that kind of stuff. So to see this gigantic elephant was a big deal. Um, poor little Jumbo was an abused elephant in his early days because he was used as a tourist attraction. Also, really quick PSA, no matter where you go, don't ever go and ride an elephant.
Oh, please. Oh my god.
If they let you ride an elephant, if they let you sit on an elephant, if they let you literally do anything other than feed the elephant,
Mm.
they are abusing them. The end. I just
That is
have
a
to
good
say that.
PSA. Yeah.
Mhm. Yeah, because I still see people doing it, and it's like, "How have we not learned this yet?" Anyway, so
Ugh.
Jumbo was an abused elephant used as a tourist attraction for many, many years. But eventually, he was rescued and brought to the London Zoo, where he
Oh.
had a very nice, happy life.
Oh, good.
Eventually, he was bought by Barnum in 1882 to travel
Mhm.
around with the circus, and he became insanely famous.
Oh.
Uh, he earned the circus over $1.7 million while he was there and was the star attraction and was treated as such. So,
Good. Okay, good.
mhm. It's one of those things where I'm sure for circus stuff, like if we looked at it now, probably wasn't the best, but for the most part, like it sounds like he was treated pretty well. So,
Okay.
anybody who's seen Water for Elephants, I don't think that was his story. So,
Cool. Okay.
um however, though, so I've got a couple more little jumbo facts because, like I said, I did a deep dive, and this
Mhm.
guy this thing that's crazy. So sadly, Jumbo died only 3 years after being at the circus in
Oh.
1885 at 24 years old,
Oh,
um,
no.
because he was crossing the train tracks after his show and was hit by a locomotive.
No,
Oh,
Jumbo.
poor Jumbo. This
Damn
made
it.
me cry when I read it. He died with his trunk wrapped around his trainer's hand. Oh,
Okay, that's beyond upsetting.
I know, but it's so like it's sweet though. Like it's upsetting because it's sweet. So,
Ugh,
um, do you need a minute or
that's
should I
kinda
just
more
keep
than
talking?
that's, like, kinda more than I can handle this week. That's oh my
Oh
god,
no,
that's a
I'm
lot.
sorry.
Holy shit.
I thought it was very
Oh
cute.
god, okay. Yep, you've
Okay,
got
well,
me
I've got a
imagining, let's
very
keep going.
yeah, I was like, I got some funny stuff to say really quick. So because he was such a large elephant and was so well renowned, it makes sense a little bit that he ended up being taxidermied, which I think everybody knows what taxidermy means, but just in case you don't, it's just preserving an animal and their skin and all that kind of stuff. So
Yeah,
they're just a stuffed animal.
yeah.
So his taxidermy was donated to Tufts University in
Oh,
Boston, and Jumbo became their mascot. and is still to this day.
Did not know that.
Sadly, yeah. So sadly, where he was being held, there was a fire at the university, and so his taxidermy doesn't exist anymore. Because I was like, that would be kind of
Oh,
cool, to interesting to see.
yeah.
Some parts of him still remain because it's taxidermy. So like his tail was not real. Like his tail's in a box anyway.
Oh.
Um, but what I think is absolutely hilarious is that they gathered up ashes from the building and ashes where he should have been, and they are being kept currently in the athletic director's office in a 14-ounce Peter Pan Crunch peanut butter jar.
At no time did I think that I knew what the next word of that sentence would be.
I know, that's why I love it.
Can you say that one more time?
Yep. Jumbo's ashes are kept in the athletic director's office in a 14-ounce Peter Pan Crunch peanut butter jar.
None of that makes any sense.
I mean, he's an elephant, he likes
Wow.
peanuts, and therefore he's in a peanut butter
That
jar.
that is nope, does not follow.
Oh my gosh. I see, like, that's where I wasn't gonna do a deep dive about Jumbo, I just looked up what he was a famous mark, and I was like, "Okay," and then as I started reading more, I was like, "Okay, alright, we're gonna add that in." Um,
Okay,
okay,
that's
almost done
interesting
with
way to wrap
Jumbo.
that up.
I know, right? I was like, almost done with Jumbo, just got 2 more things. Fun fact, uh, his name is where we get the words Jumbotron, Jumbo Jet, and Jumbo Shrimp. So he's kind of, I mean, the word jumbo obviously meant large earlier, but he's
Mhm.
the one that, like, extra did it. Also, good job. He's the inspiration for Dumbo.
I'm so smart.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So, moving on from Jumbo the elephant. So, in the early 1900s, Ringling Brothers and Barnum and Bailey ran as independent circuses. But they would eventually come together throughout the years and then would also split up throughout the years. So they kind of had like a collaboration and all that kind of stuff. Sometimes they would be independent, running as two different, sometimes they would come together.
Hmm.
So the circus found itself to be the most successful during the Great Depression, or not the Great Depression.
That
The
would've been
circus
really
was the most.
impressive.
I know, right? No, the circus was the most successful during the Roaring 20s,
Ah,
and then it took a hit during the Great
okay, that makes
Depression,
a lot more sense.
right? Doesn't it?
Like, I
So,
don't have
however,
any
though,
money to eat bread, but you know what I do have is plenty of money to go see a fucking elephant.
I know, right? Like, we don't have any money for food, but my gosh, do we need to go see a bearded woman? Oh,
Priorities, people.
priorities. I mean, it's not that much different from today, is it?
It's actually not untrue.
Ah! So, okay, so anyway, so however, though, during the Great Depression and soon afterwards, President Roosevelt actually allowed the circus to continue using the railways despite pretty heavy travel restrictions in 1942. So, because they were deemed that important to keep going. So,
Mhm.
not too bad. Some of the acts that you would have seen in the 40s at these shows would have been trapeze artists, contortionists, acrobats, rope walkers, and dancers. There also would be a full menagerie of trained big cats, elephants, giraffes, and dogs, and many, many
Mm.
other funky little animals.
Huh.
There are actually a lot of really, really cool pictures from a Time magazine article in
Ooh.
1949 that I will definitely be posting. So,
Yeah,
it,
cool.
like, made me super happy.
Nice.
Um, yeah. So really quick, for those who don't know, so how the traveling circus usually works, Danica, have you seen Water for Elephants?
No.
Okay. It's a fantastic book, fantastic movie, and now it's a show on Broadway. Um,
Yeah.
sad as fuck. So, if you're in a
Oh,
mood, don't
great,
watch it. Or if you need to
great.
cry, watch it.
Ah.
Um, yeah. So it's So Water for Elephants, for anybody who has seen it, it gives you a really, really, really good look into how the traveling circus works. Because at the very beginning, this guy is basically picked up by the circus, and they kind of do a whole stop it. I literally have one cat over here clawing at this curtain, and then I have another cat over there who's stuck in the closet screaming at me. So I usually shut the door,
We're
but I
doing
felt
great.
bad. I haven't seen them all day. Anyway, so back to that. Water for Elephants gives you a really good look at how the circus works. Because at the beginning, essentially, Robert Pattinson
Oh, yeah.
is uh, basically kind of like thrown into it. I think he
Mm.
literally like is on the rails or whatever, like jumps into an open railway
Um,
car and then
huh.
jumps off. And there's like this really beautiful montage of just them getting everything set up.
Hmm.
So essentially, most of these circuses were transported on trains from city to city in very large caravans. They typically would set up right by the tracks and would either be in town anywhere from a couple of days to maybe a couple of weeks, but it was usually pretty like, we're here, we're gone. Um, the traveling circus is also where we got the famous Big Top from.
Hmm.
So the big top is the main tent in a circus and typically is round and comes to a point and is made of canvas. And the most iconic look is red and white canvas.
Mhm.
And then inside the big top, there's usually a ring with rigging and all kinds of contraptions for the performance and the trapeze people to use. And fun fact, circuses still use them today. In fact, we were in one only a couple of weeks ago.
That's true.
So yeah,
Yee.
we were in a big top. That
Mhm.
that big top was literally where we saw who was it? The Ghost Light and
Good
then
light.
Zoya or Noah, whatever that one was. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
And then Cirque still has one or two that they
Oh,
use. So,
hmm.
nowadays usually circuses go to venues as opposed to you still using the big top. So, 'cause it's
Gotcha.
expensive.
Mm.
Um So, we're going to transition now into the tragedy that has brought us all here today. Uh,
Alright.
so, speaking of superstitions, like the one we did 2 weeks ago, the
Mm.
circus has a superstition.
Mm.
So it is apparently bad luck for a circus to miss a show,
What?
which
Why? Huh.
I don't know because it's one of those things where it's like you would think that that would just be bad luck in
In
general.
general? Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. Do we know where that comes from, or is that like,
no,
huh,
I mean,
I'm sure
I would
somebody
assume
knows.
just yeah, I would assume just in general, like, I don't know if there's anything in particular. The only thing that
Mm.
I could think of is that from a financial standpoint, it would be bad luck because then you have to return all your money. So, because when I
Ooh.
read that, I immediately thought about Cirque du Soleil, who will fight tooth and nail to never cancel a show.
Hmm.
So, and I was like, "Oh, it's because of the no, it's not. It's because of money."
'Cause
So yeah.
uh-huh.
So I could almost see that as, like, the people being like, "Come on, everybody, hustle to get that big top up. It'll be bad luck if we miss the show."
Right.
But in
That yeah, that
reality,
makes sense. That
yeah,
makes
it's just
sense.
money. So,
Hmm.
so that actually speaking of which, it did happen quite a bit because they're
Mm.
traveling via a railway track.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times they would be delayed, either due
Right.
to weather or travel or things on the tracks, just whatever. It just happened.
Mhm.
Um, so on that such subject, on July 5th in 1944, the trains for the Ringling Brothers Circus was delayed and they had to cancel 2 shows that day.
Oh,
Yeah,
double bad luck.
double bad luck. Um, so then the next day on July 6th, 1944, basically everybody was like on like a heightened edge, ready for something to go wrong. So again, July 6th, 1944, this took place in Hartford, Connecticut.
Okay.
They put on their first afternoon show at 2:15. This was a Thursday afternoon, which means most people in attendance were
Women and children.
women and children. Um, So, a quick couple of little specs about the Ringling Brothers Big Top on this particular day. So, the Big Top was 200 feet wide, 400 feet long, and the point went up to 48 feet. The inside of the ring, or the inside of the tent, had 3 rings in it instead of 1 main ring.
Oh.
The floor is freshly mowed grass, doused in water, and then covered in hay and wood shavings. They had bleacher seating that could hold 9,000 spectators. And on this particular day, they had 7,000. So, Danica, I'm going to ask you really quick because I don't know if you know a ton of what I'm working on, but do you know what disaster we're about to talk about? What do you think happens?
I'm gonna go with fire because that's so many
Fire.
people in a canvas tent.
It is a fire. So this is the famous Ringling Brothers fire of 1944. So the fire, funny enough, similar to our friend the Great Lafayette, took place right after the tent, or took place in the tent after the Lions performed. So a small flame broke out on the sidewall, and the band leader, Merle Evans, was the first to spot the flames. The band started to play Stars and Stripes Forever, which was the indication to circus personnel that something was wrong.
Hmm.
The ringmaster, who was Fred, realized that something was happening and tried to keep the crowd from panicking, but it was unsuccessful because the fire had already shorted out all of the power and no one could hear him.
Oh, fuck.
Mm-hmm. The big cats were still in the tent when the fire broke out.
Oh,
But
God.
I'm gonna save everybody from being upset right now. None of the big cats died.
Okay, phew. Okay. Just people.
Yep.
Okay.
They just people. No big cats though. Yes, I'm
Phew.
happy to say none of the big cats were killed. They only received minor burns when they were taken back to their cages.
Oh.
Fun fact, actually I want to ask you really quick. Do you have any
Oh.
idea how in the 40s they would have gotten big cats to and from the main tent from their cages?
I'm literally just imagining them on leashes.
I would have thought that too, but actually I was like, "Oh, this is brilliant." They used chutes. So, like big old tunnels, like big old cat tunnels. So, that just went from their,
Like a
cages
hamster
to the
tube?
main. Yeah, like a hamster tube, like from their cages to the main stage.
Huh.
And so essentially, when the fire broke out, they could literally just shuffle them
Zoop.
towards the chutes, and in they went. And also they're trained, so
Huh.
they know that that's what they're supposed to do. So it was good luck
Cool.
for the big cats. It was very
Mhm.
bad luck for the audience, however, because
Ooh.
having these chutes meant that they were blocking half of the exits.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh
So,
my.
yes. So we can kind of see where this is going.
Oh,
So,
fuck.
as the fire started to grow, hysteria started to break out. Imagine 7,000 people in this tent. People were counted literally watching people in the crowd running in circles, as well as exiting the tent and then coming back into the tent to find people that they had left behind.
Oh.
There
Uh,
were also people who just continued to sit in their seats and assumed it would be taken care of,
yep, that's always the way to go with a fire.
right? So, I have a quote from a Miss Marine, and she was 11 at the time of the fire. So,
Oof.
quote, I remember somebody yelling and seeing a big ball of fire near the top of the tent. As the ball of fire just got bigger and bigger and bigger, by that time everybody was panicking. The exit was blocked with cages that the animals were brought in and out with. And there was a man taking kids and flinging them down and over cages to help them get out. I was sitting in the bleachers, jumped down, and when I was 3/4 of the way standing up, a man grabbed me by the wrist, pulled out a pocket knife, and slit the tent open and pulled me out.
Oh,
Mhm.
I mean, that's a good call.
Yeah. So,
Wow.
overall, the tent burned in less than 8 minutes.
Holy fuck.
Do you have any idea why the flames spread this rapidly?
I mean, it's made of canvas.
It's made of canvas, but usually canvas is pretty dense, so it doesn't take it
Yeah,
shouldn't take that long, or it should take a little bit longer. It's because of what they use for waterproofing the tents.
asbestos.
Worse.
Oh god.
So, the most common way for waterproofing canvas was to use about 2,000 pounds of paraffin wax dissolved in 6,000 gallons of gasoline.
Okay, um, let's all put our thinking caps on for just a moment.
Mhm.
Um, waterproofing should also have something to do with fireproofing.
You would think, especially with this being in the 40s, like, there's a lot of fires that take out that happen during this time, but,
And
oh,
before that,
yeah,
like,
exactly. But yeah,
so we've not learned a fucking thing is what I'm
nope,
getting. Great.
not
Excellent.
yet.
Excellent. Good call,
Yeah.
everybody.
So just to recount, this canvas, which is fabric, is also covered in wax and gasoline. So this is
Smart.
awfully gross. Most of the injuries that took place this day were from canvas literally just raining down and melting into people's skin.
Fuck.
So, as I said before, the tent literally burned and collapsed in 8 minutes. And I guess I misspoke before. It didn't completely burn up, it just collapsed and trapped hundreds of people below burning and melting canvas.
Oh my god.
Yeah, this one's gross. It's not fun. So, while you would think that most people would have burned to death, uh, more people died because of the chaos.
Mhm.
Some of those were obviously going to be tramplings and all that kind of stuff.
Mhm.
One of the worst ones is, again, this place could hold 9,000 people. And so, in order to escape the fire and the burning canvas raining down on you, people also tried to jump from the top of the bleachers to escape under the sides of the tents. Most people did not survive that. A lot of people were also asphyxiated under piles of people.
Oh,
Most of the dead were found in piles, 3 bodies deep at congested exits.
fuck. God, that is way too much like the
Yeah, like
blue
the
beard.
Iroquois. Yeah.
Fuck. Oh.
Um, some
And
people were
again,
actually,
that was 40 years before this,
yeah,
and we
I
still
know.
had, like, oh my
Yeah,
god,
we still
fuck.
had this issue. Yeah. However, though, some people were actually found alive under these piles of dead people on top of them because they were
Okay.
literally shielded from the burning canvas on top of them.
Oh my god, I cannot
Mhm.
even fucking imagine the absolute horror.
Yeah. So overall, 168 people died and more than
Oh,
700 were injured. However,
that's a
though,
fuck of a lot less than I expected to hear from 7,000 being in there.
however, these numbers are only an estimate
Mm.
because there were a lot of body parts found.
Ugh.
And a lot of people who like, for the injured specifically, a lot of people went home in a panic instead of going to the hospitals, so the injured toll is probably a lot higher. And then as
Mhm.
far as the people who died, essentially that day, because they had just had to cancel, 2 of their other shows, they handed out a ton of free tickets.
Mhm.
And whenever they hand out free tickets, they give them to drifters as well as employees who are typically also drifters that would have no one come looking for them. So
Oh,
although the official record is 168, the real number is much higher. So it's just people
fuck.
who are not counted for.
Ugh.
Um, sorry, we're almost done, I
Oh
promise.
my god, Jesus.
So 70 years later, a woman, Carol Parrish, who was 6 at the time, says that she can still smell the stench of burning flesh. The cause of the fire is still remains unsolved, whether it was a careless flick of a cigarette, which is the one that makes the
Mhm.
most sense. Maybe an arsonist. There was somebody who confessed to the arsony of it, but then later was like, it wasn't actually me. I was forced into saying this, that kind of stuff. So
Mhm.
arsony, probably not. Probably just some careless. cigarette flicking.
Yeah. Ugh.
The circus did accept responsibility for all financial damages, but not the disaster itself, which makes sense. And they continued on to their next stop in Saratoga, Florida.
Because
So,
you gotta make that fucking money.
because why not? So 5 men were convicted for involuntary manslaughter who were employed through Ringling. However, they were eventually pardoned, and one of the men, James Haley, served on the House of Representatives for 24 years.
Of course he did.
Of course he did. Why not? I killed a
Because
bunch of people.
we love criminals and we love having them as our representatives.
We
Yeah.
sure do.
Yay,
The circus
America.
I know, right? America. Fuck yeah. So the circus did end up paying over 5 million to the victims and their families, and most of the people who felt the wrath of this day don't blame Ringling too much because they feel like they handled it pretty well. So
Mhm.
for once, good for them.
That's
Um,
I guess that's good.
yeah,
All things considered.
I know. So obviously they came back from it because the circus is still around today. So
Mhm.
Ringling, you can still go see it. I think now Ringling and Barnum and Bailey are merged again, I think if I
Oh, okay,
remember
yeah.
correctly. But they're still going around. Obviously, what you go see today probably resembles more of a Cirque du Soleil show since they don't use animals anymore.
Mhm.
I think there's actually one circus that uses what is it when you project things that are 3D? Holographic. They use holographic animals. So
Oh. Hmm.
which I was like, "That's interesting," but I
Oh,
don't know if I wanna pay any money for that.
yeah.
So, um, so really quick, one last final thing, and then we're done, is
Okay.
there is a famous picture that emerged that day, which is of a sad clown named Emmett Kelly holding a water bucket, and then this event became known as the day that clowns cried.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Ugh. Wow, that was rough.
Yeah.
Oof.
So really, really quick, because yeah, that was a rough one. Like I said, that was a doozy.
Yeah.
Um, Danica, have you ever been to Ringling Brothers or Barnum and Bailey?
I believe so when I was very young. I'll have to
So
double check with my mother.
I have, and the only
Hmm.
reason I know is because I have a souvenir that has creeped
Ah.
out every single person that I have ever lived with and anybody that I have ever dated.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
And the one that's in my hand right now is actually not my original one. It's the one that my mom found in a thrift store 3 years later because the other one's across the house and I'm not gonna go grab it, but they're the same. Are you ready for this?
Oh my god. Am I? Ew. Oh, it's a mug. Oh my god, it's a mug. Oh, I thought it was
What'd you think
oh,
it was?
I
So
just
for
thought it was like a
everybody
oh,
so for
no.
everybody listening, it is a plastic clown mug. For anybody watching, it looks a little creepy right now because I used it to hold paint, because it's old and I'm
It
not gonna drink
it's
out of it.
missing the top of its head.
Yeah, so
And,
this is one of my,
ah,
like, few like, really yo like, I think we saw it when I was, like, 4. So it's one of my first memories is I wanted this thing because it's full of snow cone stuff, and so its head is
oh.
domed with, rainbow snow cone stuff. And again, for anybody listening and not watching, I will be posting a picture of this the beautiful
Oh
clown. But
god.
for me,
I'm
because
so
I've been
sorry to everyone who has to see this
but,
and
like,
then
for
see
me,
the
because
picture again.
I've been using this thing
Ooh,
for literally 25 years, so, like, it's not creepy to me, but, like, Garrett hates it. Everybody
I'm
I've
not a
ever
fan,
known.
I will tell you. I'm not loving this friend, no.
Um, my other one, is what I mix my hair dye in. So, one is a paint cup, one is a hair dye cup, and I will pull out the other one for pictures later. But yeah, you know what? This might have to be in my display now.
Oh my gosh,
Yeah,
no.
are you afraid of clowns?
You know, not as a rule.
Okay, good.
You know, I what's funny is that especially when I was a kid, I don't have a fear now necessarily, but definitely when I was a child, I was very
Mhm.
afraid of people in, like, full body costume, like, with, like, the mascot kind of,
Uh,
like, any,
mhm.
like, character outfits.
Yeah.
No way. Abso-fucking-lutely not. I would
Interesting.
run the other direction. I don't know what it was, but I was no, no,
Mhm.
no, 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 no.
Interesting.
So,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't think I've ever had a problem with clowns because I know that that's, like, a big thing for a lot of people is,
Yeah.
like, no clowns. Like, even when we had
And
the what was it? The Creepy Clowns of 2008 or something like that, where
yeah.
clowns were in the woods of
Mhm.
North Carolina?
People
I
are
don't
just
remember where it
fucking with
was. I was
everybody,
like
yeah.
yeah, I was like,
I
"Eh,
mean
whatever."
when you
Then
think
again
about, people like John Wayne Gacy that, like,
uh,
well,
yeah.
that is kind of where we get the legend of
Mhm.
a creepy clown is because he
That's fair.
was a children's party clown
Mhm.
who
Yeah,
turned into a fucking child serial
a
killer,
serial
like
killer. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Anyway.
I think I can thank my parents for keeping this around at all times for me not being terrified of clowns.
Thanks so
So,
much.
like, I used to, yeah, drink out of this thing every single day. So, yep, good stuff. So
Good
anyway,
lord. So
yeah,
anyway.
you're welcome. So yeah, so after
Wow.
showing you off my creepy clown mug and telling you a very sad story, not only of a fire but also of Jumbo, what do you got for me, Danica?
Oh, I've got some actually really fun spooky ooky stuff here.
Mm.
So, so we
Mhm.
are going to the Dock Street Theater in Charleston, South Carolina. So, let's
Ooh.
do this actually has some really cool history, so I wanted to do like a good chunk of history about this first because it's really cool. I
Yes.
like it.
Yes,
Um,
please.
this is considered America's first theater, and I'm going to put that in quotations, not
Okay.
the oldest, but the first, because the difference being,
Mm.
I'll get to that in a second, but so oldest being the longest continually running,
Okay.
like built, purpose built as a theater, continually in operation as a theater.
Hmm.
Do you have any idea what that would be? Give you a hint. It's in Philadelphia.
Would I know it?
Probably.
Shoot. I'm trying to think what theaters are in Philadelphia. The Met's not no, the Met's in
Mm-mm.
DC. That's not even a theater. I don't know. Tell me.
The Walnut Street Theater.
Oh, that's on our list. I wouldn't know that though.
Mhm. Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Nice.
Walnut
Okay.
Street is considered the oldest theater in America because it was, um,
Mhm.
created in the 1800s, but has, been continually running since then. But,
Yeah.
Dock Street, which is actually not located on Dock Street, it is located
Oh.
on Church Street in the French Quarter, actually, of, Charleston, which I did
Mhm.
not actually realize there was a French Quarter of Charleston, but that's
Yeah.
very cool, and I don't know why I didn't know that.
I can't
Um,
remember why I've been to Charleston, but I know I've been.
yeah, I've
So,
I've gone through it a couple times, like, to and
mhm.
from, like, North Carolina, Florida.
Yeah.
Um, there was a theater built in Williamsburg, Virginia in 1716, but I could not find a
Mm.
name.
Hmm.
But so apparently it is the Dock Street Theater is now recognized as America's first theater.
Nice.
So and that's because, on February 12th, 1736, the Dock Street Theater opened with a performance of the recruiting
Mm.
officer, which
Mhm.
was it was a very, very large, like, this was a play that came over from England long time ago, so, um
Okay.
Um, so this was the first structure in America built exclusively to be used for theatrical performances. And on
Mhm.
top of that, Flora, which was the first opera performance in America, also took place at
Mm.
the historic Dock Theater,
Nice.
Dock Street. Sorry.
Yeah.
Though, and so this is okay. I'll get into this a little bit in a bit because
Mhm.
there's some other, like, interesting little tidbits of history stuff, but, um, so that original Dock Street Theater was, destroyed by the Great Fire of 1740, which
Hmm.
actually did destroy many of the buildings in Charleston's, French Quarter. but it was rebuilt in 1809 as the Planters Inn Hotel, and it received its name from visitors who frequently stayed there who were, you guessed it,
I don't know. Actors.
planters.
Oh, planters. Oh my god.
No, really. That they were coming from like the middle of South Carolina during horse racing season, apparently was a big thing.
Interesting.
It also happens to be the last surviving antebellum hotel in Charleston.
That's not
Um,
good, right? We don't like that.
we don't like that.
Okay. I was like, that's not
But
that's a good thing.
but it's actually, I mean, obviously it's not a hotel anymore, but
Mhm.
so after the Civil War, the Planters Hotel fell into disrepair and was slated for demolition. And actually, further damage was caused by the 1886. Do you want to guess what happened in 1886 in Charleston?
A fire,
No.
an earthquake, a
Yes,
tsunami. Oh,
a fucking earthquake
nice. I mean, no,
in
I mean bad.
South Carolina. And
Whoa, that's crazy.
yes, it was.
Hmm.
There is so much fascinating information about this earthquake. It was they're guessing it was between a 6.9 and a 7.3
Ooh,
magnitude, which
that's a
is
big one.
massive.
Yeah.
Um, and it destroyed so much of Charleston. And there were
Yeah.
shockwaves that continued for like almost a decade after.
Dang.
Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah, crazy shit. Um, so then, so that was 1886, but then in 1935, so it kind of just like sat there in disrepair for that whole
Yeah.
time. But in 1935, it became a WPA project. So the WPA was the Works Progress Administration that
Mhm.
was meant to be the like, let's come back from the Depression strong.
Yeah.
Um, the local carpenters who were put to work as part of the Depression era relief effort utilized locally grown and milled native black cypress for the beautiful, warm wooden interior. It was a
Mm.
$350,000 renovation in 1935, which I did not do the math on.
Oh no.
We can pause and check it actually.
I was gonna say we can do the same thing that we did
Okay.
last time.
Um,
Okay, so you look it up. I'm
three,
gonna think
three,
about it. Let's see. How much you said 300,000?
350.
350 in 1937? What'd you say?
5. Yeah.
1935. I'm going to guess let's see. $21 million.
No, but it's a hell of a lot of money still.
What?
Ugh, 8 million.
Okay, I was way off.
Which
That's a big
still,
renovation,
Jesus God.
yeah.
Yeah, $8 million renovation in 1935 from a
Dang.
government project.
Mhm.
Um,
Yeah, that's impressive.
so
Yeah, I guess I was thinking for some reason, like, I was trying to think, like, how much have the other theaters we've talked about done? And it's like, oh, that's
Mm,
right, but that was start to finish, not a
mhm,
renovation. So
great, yeah.
that's ridiculous. That's
Um,
all right, government.
so then after this massive renovation, it had its second grand opening taking place on November 26th of 1937.
Hmm.
And then it actually reopened for the third time on March 18th, 2010, after a 3-year, $19 million renovation by the city of Charleston.
Dang. Man,
Uh-huh.
they care about this theater.
Mhm. What's
Wow.
that like?
I
Um,
know. Ooh.
so now it is currently owned and managed by the city of Charleston.
Hmm.
It is now soon to enter its fourth century as like the heart of the Charleston arts life.
4th century?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. 17. What was that year? 1736.
Why does that make me feel old? I was like, "That wasn't 4 centuries ago," and
Yeah,
it's
in
like
2036, it will be entering its fourth century.
wow, that
Yeah,
is
that's fucking wild.
nuts. Wow.
Anyway, yeah. Um,
Sorry, that took me a minute to
mhm,
wrap my head around. Mhm.
yeah, which is
Wow.
wild because, having come back from places like, Prague and
Mhm.
Edinburgh, we're just like, "Oh, yeah, of course that was built in 1200s. That's yeah, of
Yeah.
course."
Yeah, one of the castles that we walked around, it was built in, like, 700 or something like that, and
Right.
we're like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
sure. Yeah,
normal."
that makes sense.
Yeah, meanwhile, in
You're like,
America,
"Oh my
nothing's
god,
older than
400 years."
like, "Wow!" I mean, for America, yeah.
Yeah.
So
For America, it's yeah.
mhm.
Anyway. So now it is actually serves as the home to a lot of different cultural institutions. So the literary festival, Moja Festival, which I should have looked up, the Spoleto Festival USA, which of
Mhm.
course the sister one of it is Spoleto, Italy.
Yeah,
Um, and as of 1978, it became the home of Charleston Stage, which is now its resident professional theater,
I've
which
heard of
produces
Charleston
over
Stage.
100 performances each season and
Mhm.
plays to more than 49,000 patrons annually. So
Nice.
it's up
Uh,
there. Yeah, it's doing
yeah,
great.
I've heard of Charleston Stage. It's definitely one of those ones that
Mhm.
I always see when, job hunting and looking at
Oh
stuff,
yeah.
so
Oh yeah.
oh, yeah,
It's
that one
it's
pops
it's
up.
got a really nice reputation. So
Yeah.
all right, so it's spooky ooky time.
Ookie,
Spooky ooky
ookie.
time.
Ookie, ookie
So,
scary. I don't know what
it's,
I'm doing.
some sort of lovely crab dance
I don't know why
is
that's
how
my
I'll
special
describe
dance.
it.
Pinching the butts.
Oh my god, that's what it is.
Pinching the butts,
It's the
it's
pinching the men's
spooky
butts
time.
crab dance. Okay.
Yeah, that's our new theme song.
Patent pending.
Mhm. TM,
So
TM.
so we're gonna start with, there's an unnamed spirit of a man who is seen roaming the halls or on the catwalks or in the balconies or on the
Mhm.
stage. Um, but maybe it's more than one. Obviously, with that much history,
Yeah,
being around for that amount of time,
400
maybe more
years,
than
yeah,
one is plausible.
yeah.
But what's fascinating is that a lot of people will chalk this up to being the spirit of Junius Brutus Booth, who we remember as the father of
I was
Edwin
like,
and
John
yes,
Wilkes
that's
Booth's
yes, yes, father. Yes, yeah,
nice.
of Edwin and John Wilkes Booth.
Yes, his papa. Mhm, I
So,
was like, it's either the
um,
dad or the brother.
it's the dad. So, Junius
Papa
Brutus
Booth.
was a patron of the hotel,
Mhm.
and there was actually a shockingly well documented incident that he was involved with. Um,
Oh,
like one of the local papers picked this up as like a big deal because he was a big deal actor.
yeah.
But that apparently he had uh I don't know what started the incident,
Oh
but
my god.
he
What is it?
apparently chased around the hotel manager with a fire iron with like a fire poker,
Yeah.
like and beat the shit out of him. And I
Well,
yes,
now we know where
so
John Wilkes Booth's shit came from.
he may have had some familial problems,
Damn.
possibly.
Yeah. Doesn't
Yeah,
mental
but
illness and all that kinda stuff run in the family?
oh, yeah.
The serial killer gene?
So,
Mhm.
that's one of the theories which I find to be like, "Why the fuck?" But,
Yeah.
is that it's totally Junius Brutus Booth who's
Mhm.
haunting it. It's like, why would he haunt the theater that at the
Yeah.
time that he stayed there was a hotel and he was nowhere even close to the vicinity when he died, or like he has no
Mhm.
actual connection to this place except for beating the shit out of somebody, like
I'm guessing it
so
doesn't look
whatever.
like him or anything. So they're just like,
That's the thing. It's just like, it's a
Mhm.
dude. Here's the name of someone who stayed here that matters. Like,
Mhm.
I don't fucking know. So to me,
Meanwhile,
that
that
sounds like,
apparition's like, "My name's Jonathan."
hi, I'm Clement. So
Yeah. "Hi, I'm Jonathan, and I died here, like, 40 years ago."
they're just like, no, it's totally this. Anyway, yeah. So anyway, um, but then we can get to the only named spirit, which is that
Ooh,
of Nettie, who in life may have been there's
the
a whole lot of
creator of the
information.
neti pot.
That's absolutely incorrect.
I'm sorry, I had to. I had to
Great,
say it. I'm sorry.
great job, great job.
Thank you.
Um, very, very other end of the spectrum.
Okay.
um, she may have been someone who was known as Nettie Dickerson, who was said to be a sex worker in the mid 1800s.
Mm,
This is a person that did live. So all of this. There's a lot of the stuff that is documented, but
mhm.
obviously, it's like, is that this spirit, whatever. Um,
Yeah.
but the actual Nettie Dickerson was a sex worker, and but of course, like many others, especially in the 1800s who were sex workers, she was
Mhm.
hopeful for love and marriage, but
Mm.
she was a disgusting old woman past her prime. So, can you guess how old she would have been? She
I was
was
like, "Please let
consistently
me guess."
rejected for being like a disgusting old, yeah.
I'm gonna bet that she is the ripe old age of 26.
25. Yes.
Oh!
Holy shit. Look at us being one off both
Oh,
times this episode.
man.
Listen, we are nailing this.
We are nailing it.
Hell yeah.
I would
Hell
like
yeah.
to thank Bridgerton for that guess. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
They're
'cause
telling it
there's
like it fucking was horrible.
well, yeah, in the 2nd season, they call somebody they're like, "A spinster at the ripe old age of 5 and 20," like, kind of a thing, so
Yes, exactly.
mhm,
So that's exactly what it is. She was
yeah.
25 years old, and they were
Mhm.
like, this horrible, disgusting old woman is far past her prime for marriage or love. Ew.
Yeah. Ew,
So
gross. Meanwhile, look at us.
so
Oh, no.
sucks to
Oh,
suck
man.
everybody else. But it is said that she had saved some money and then went into one of the most expensive stores in the city and bought a beautiful red dress so that she could hang out in the lobby of the hotel to attempt to garner a husband. Be
I
like,
love her.
hey, notice me. Hey, what's up? I'm cute. I
I
got this
love
red dress.
her. Good
I know,
for
right?
her.
I kind of like
I
this.
wanna I wanna
Um,
go to a place and just wear a red dress and just be like,
let's
"Hi."
do it. Let's do
Okay. When we go see Moulin Rouge, "Hi."
it. I do have that one dress that I wore for cabaret once that actually would be pretty baller. It's like a satin floor length backless. It's pretty baller.
We need to go sorry, I'm gonna side notice really quick. We need to find a fancy event to go to one day together. Like, just
Yeah,
pull out the nines, whatever it's called.
yeah,
So, yeah.
yeah.
Oh, for sure.
Oh,
Mhm. We'll
if
find
anyone
something.
knows of any cool events we should be doing in
Yeah.
like evening wear, you should let us
I
know
know.
so we can
I want to go
attend.
to a ball.
Oh, do I?
I want to go to a ball, mama. I don't know where that came from.
That's exactly what I was going for, though.
Yeah.
Holy shit. So, but unfortunately for Nettie, it didn't really work. So,
Oh,
kind of a
no.
bummer. So after many failed attempts and continued hardships and continuing to work as a sex worker, she made her way to the second floor balcony of the inn,
No. No.
and was actually heard shouting, "You can't save me." And she may have been there are like theories and reports that she may have been talking to a priest that she had befriended, that like maybe she had gotten a job as like a clerk at the church or something like that.
Yeah.
Um, but apparently her intention was to jump to her death. But Jill, fate had other plans. What do you think happened instead?
W I mean, I would assume that she still died if she's a ghost, but how did
Take
she
a stab. Take a stab.
um, she had the coughing diseased and coughed and died instead?
Oh, it's it's way worse.
Oh, no.
She
Oh, did
the
she
most, well, well-known version of this story is
oh
that
gosh.
she was struck by lightning. we should not be laughing about that, but fucking come on. She
What?
was
I
uh,
was
uh,
I was never gonna guess.
fucking Zeus up there going, "Oh, yeah? Oh, yeah? Try me."
Wait. Okay, wait. Maybe I'm thinking about it wrong. Okay, so she was up on a balcony. Okay, I was
Yes,
thinking,
she was
like,
on a
balcony
balcony.
inside the building.
Oh, no,
Okay.
outside.
Okay. I was
That she was
thinking,
like,
yeah.
"I'm on a balcony, I'm gonna fucking leap to my death,"
Oh my gosh.
and Zeus up
Yeah,
there is
for
going,
everybody yeah, for everybody
instead of
listening who
that."
doesn't know, there's, like, orchestra, mezzanine, balcony. I was thinking she
Right,
was in
yeah.
the balcony in the theater. It's like, "I'm
Outside.
gonna light these
Balcony
cigarettes."
outside, yes. That's why
Holy
she
crap.
was gonna jump to her death outside, but just apparently, maybe she got struck by lightning, so
Oh, you know what,
womp.
though?
Sorry, Nettie.
I actually don't hate that. I feel like if you were gonna, like
Maybe it's
it's gonna sound awful. If you
faster?
were going to do an act like that and then something else happened that did it for you, you'd be like, "Nah, it was my time."
Yeah.
Like,
Like,
what?
"Shit, alright."
Yeah, like you said, Zeus was like, "Alright."
Yeah. No, I'm kinda cool with that, actually.
I know, right?
So, apparently, you can still see her walking, through the theater in various levels of the theater in her red dress.
Yay, she still gets to
Yeah.
keep it.
Yeah, I do like that. I think that's really
Mhm.
cool.
Yeah.
And then there are some other things like actors and staff do report that objects either move or get displaced from either the props room or backstage. And of
Mhm.
course, hearing some strange sounds here and there. But that is actually the tip of the iceberg because I found some incredible firsthand experiences that I cannot wait to tell you about. So, and this is
Yes,
just a
please.
handful of them too. Oh
Okay.
my God, these are good. These are so good. Okay, so
Oh, I'm so excited.
Yee! Okay, so let's start with a construction worker, Isaiah Nesbitt, who was in
Mhm.
the building alone during the renovation in 2009. Saw a woman watching him from an interior balcony, so like the mezzanine. Um,
Mhm.
he thought the young woman was a visitor, much like himself, until he realized he could see right through her. She hovered at the top of the stairs, and her long white dress faded into the floorboards where her knees should have been.
Ew. You're like, "Something's wrong."
All right, so and this next thing is actually a direct quote from him. He said, "That's when I knew she was a ghost, but I wasn't frightened. I see ghosts all the time, day and night."
That's when you're like, "Sir, are
Casual.
you okay?"
I'm not sure that Isaiah's cool. He's like a little too chill about this. I don't know.
Uh-huh. Yeah, he's like, it's alright. I've seen worse."
Oh, and then, Discovery Channel actually had, there was a series called Adventure Cities, and in
Mhm.
season 1, episode 3, there is an investigation of the theater, and
Mhm.
they work alongside the Charleston paranormal team with some really interesting things that they caught. There was a bunch of the body forms, like, on the SLS camera, the thing that tracks, like,
Mm.
this is the
Mm,
form of a
mhm.
human, and, like, here's a form of a human also, and just like, "Hey, can I reach out and, like, hold your hand and stuff?"
I
It's
think
pretty cool stuff.
I think out of okay, really quick, I think out of everything we should definitely just for funsies at some point go through all, like, that stuff, like, what that gear is, but the SRS
Oh,
one is
yeah.
my favorite.
I really do like it. Yeah,
That's
like,
the one
honestly, I
where if
kinda do.
yeah, that's the one where if me and you ever did it, I'd be like, "Don't tell me if there's something next to me, I will panic." So,
I
actually,
would
really,
probably
really
be like,
quick
"Touch my hand."
no.
Touch it,
So really quick,
touch
I
it,
think in
touch it,
our one of the shows that's our favorite with who is it? Shane and
Oh my god, with
who?
Shane and Ryan, oh my god,
Shane and
yes.
Ryan.
Ghost
Yeah, so they
Files,
did
fuck yeah.
y yes, Ghost Files, Shane and Ryan, Ghost Files from BuzzFeed, but they're not with
Woo!
BuzzFeed anymore. But anyway,
Yeah,
no, they had
on
an
Watcher.
SRS yes, Watcher. They had an SRS thing that was like, they were like, "Here's a can of Coke. Do you want the can of Coke?" And, like, the little figure, like, "Doop, doop, doop, Coke," and, like, tried to pick it up, and it's like, "Ah!" Like, that one's good. So
Yeah, I love that. I love it.
anyway, sorry.
Oh my god, no, yes, exactly, exactly.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan. I feel like I'm the current kind of person that would truly be like, you tell me that there's somebody next to me, I would be like, "How close are they to me? Okay. How
Mhm.
tall are they? Can I rest my arm on their shoulder? Can
And then they're like,
I
"Get off me!"
hold
Yeah.
their hand?" Right? And they just, like, fuck off because I'm weird, like,
Yeah, they're like, I don't wanna interact with this one.
yeah,
Usually they just
ew.
ask us questions. This lady is trying to pinch our butts, and that's our job. Goodbye." Anyway.
Yeah, pinch the ghost butts.
Pinch the ghost butts! That's the new phrase.
Peach, peach.
Pinch, pinch.
Okay,
Oh,
oh, I've got some more really good ones.
okay.
So I've got a story from Beth Curley, who is the marketing director and graphic designer. And she said sometimes when she's working late and she's the only one in the building, there are signs she's not alone. All of her encounters
Mhm.
have taken place on the third floor administration offices level. And one time she thought she heard somebody singing down in the hallway. And she said, the quote, "I kept trying to rationalize it and convince myself that it could have been sound traveling up the street, through the window, into the theater, but none of the windows were open, and it
Mm.
sounded like it was coming from down the hallway in the office where I was."
Ooh,
Very
ooh.
cool.
I don't like that.
And then there's some really, oh man, I've got 3 actually from one person, from Erica Greco, who is, the box office manager. And, obviously, because box office managers are usually one of the last staff in and out of the building,
Mhm,
um, one time she went back into the building after hours to retrieve an item from her office.
mhm.
She said, quote, "I wasn't paying much attention, got into the elevator scrolling on my phone. Um, and the elevator door began to close and then it suddenly reopened. So I looked
Mhm.
up fully expecting to see that someone had like stuck their hand in to like enter it with me.
Mhm.
And then no one was there. No one was in the entire building. So I decided that whatever it was that I had forgotten in my office, I didn't need. So I
That
exited
was
the
a
elevator and took the stairs.
that is a smart move.
Yeah.
I feel like that is yeah. Oof.
Mhm.
No, that
I'm
is one where for
yeah.
me, like, being trapped on an elevator, no. Nope.
Ooh, I would draw the line. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then there's another, occasion where she was preparing her lunch in the kitchen, and the
Mhm.
washing machine started doing the, like, "I'm a washer load that's off balance," and, like, rah, 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 shaking.
Yeah.
Not the adjacent dryer, just the washer. So I walked over to it, and the washer was off with nothing in it,
Mhm.
but shaking intensely.
Mm.
I gently placed my hands on the top of the unit, barely touching it, and it stopped shaking just as abruptly as it had started.
Whoa, man.
Yeah,
Holy
this woman. And then, ooh, this is bit of a longer story, but this is, to me, this is the scariest one.
Okay.
Ahem. It was late one night in the third floor office. Everyone else had gone home, as again, box office manager.
Mhm.
I was, quote, "I was minding my own business, getting some work done when suddenly the lights went out in the hallway outside our office. But only those lights, not the ones in the office, which would have gone out if there was a power outage. I was thinking, maybe there's an intruder in the building, so I packed my
Mhm.
things and headed for the stairwell that I used to exit the building. But
Mhm.
when I opened the doors to the stairwell, those lights were off too. There's no light switch for the stairs on that floor. So she would have had to walk down the staircase in total darkness
Ooh.
when the office lights are still on, but the hallway lights and the stairway lights are off for some fucking reason. So she
Ooh.
was like,
Okay.
"Not happening."
Mhm.
And she backtracked, and this time she did take the elevator downstairs to the main lobby.
Mhm.
And she was like, "I didn't wanna do that because after after the one experience, I was like, I don't know how I feel about this elevator."
Mhm.
But she was like, "That seemed like a better option than the pitch black stairs with lots of doors and corners."
Yeah. No, that's
Um,
definitely fair.
and
Oh my
then the weirdest part of this too, um, we play classical music in our lobby before shows. When I
Mhm.
got into the lobby, that music was blaring. Again,
Ooh.
only person in the fucking theater. Yeah, so then she says, I ran through the theater as fast as I could, keeping a close eye out for signs of life or afterlife. Not
Or
seeing anyone,
afterlife.
thankfully. All right. I even worked up the nerve to peer back in some of the windows to see if I can find staff members or somebody who would have messed with the switches or played a joke, but there was no one to be found.
Oh
Yeah.
my gosh.
Right.
That one's intense. Like,
I
that's
know,
like
I
one of
love
those,
it.
like, no, I don't ever want to be the last person in a building just because of that.
I hate being the last person in the building for so many reasons.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm afraid of the living.
Yeah, that's fair.
Like truly. But there's always that little bit of something that like kind of
Mhm.
itches my brain going, but what if?
Yeah. But what if?
Mhm.
Yep. No, I
And
agree.
that is the Dock Street Theater in Charleston.
Man, that place is crazy, crazy
Yeah.
haunted. I wasn't expecting that
Yeah.
many stories when you were
I
saying that.
know.
Charleston, or not Charleston, but, like, South Carolina in general always has a
They've got
pretty
some
good amount of
shit going
stuff.
on. Yeah.
Mhm.
Oof.
So, man.
Yeah.
So, how far away is that one from you? Can we go visit it?
That's actually pretty close. I wanna say
Mhm.
it's only like 2 hours.
Oh my gosh, let's go. I'll come
Yeah.
visit you, and we'll go see
Maybe
all
3,
of
but
these
like, yeah.
theaters. Yeah. I'll come
Oh, yeah.
visit you, and we'll go see all these theaters and everything. So
Yeah.
oh,
Especially gotta
man.
do the one that Gus was telling me about, so,
Which one? Which one was that one?
um, I don't know. I'll have to look back at my
Alright, well,
messages with Gus. Hi, Gus.
we'll figure it out. Oh, man,
Whatever it
very
was,
good.
Gus, we're gonna do it.
Mhm. But no, that was a very good story. Very, very good.
Yeah.
So,
Thanks.
oh
That
my
was
gosh,
fun.
I wonder how long, like, that box office lady works there. If she's like, "Well, that was fun. I'm
Just
done."
like, goodbye forever. Like, fuck.
Mhm.
Like, with
Yeah.
those kinds of stories, I don't know, man.
I guess I'll see you
It's
soon.
fun. Yeah. We
Yeah,
got
and
more to
thank
do soon.
I know. Once again, I'm just gonna keep saying this until people start sending us stuff over and over again.
Yeah.
So we are working on doing listener stories, hopefully at least like once a month here and there.
Woo.
So if you have any theater paranormal stories, any ghost stories, any theater
Mhm.
tragedy stories, feel free to either send us a message on Instagram at
Mhm.
what is it? Ghostlight Pod
Uh,
on Instagram,
yeah.
or at our website at www.leavetheghost.lightonpod.com, and
Yeah.
we will start reading those very, very, very soon. So, like I said last
Yay.
time, we already got a couple, so
Woo.
we're ready to
Keep
start
going.
rocking and rolling. But we want to
Yeah.
hear everybody's stuff. So,
Yay.
yeah, gotta hear those
Please and thank
personal
you.
stories. I feel like
Yeah.
any and all personal accounts make it extra
Oh my
creepy.
god, yes. Always
And
yes.
oh, yeah. So
Mhm.
yeah, please send all your stuff in because we wanna
Yes,
read it.
please.
Mhm. Cool. Okay,
Alright.
well, I'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
Okay, bye-bye. Until next time, don't forget to leave the ghost light on. Thank you for joining us. Leave the Ghost Light On was created, hosted, and edited by Danica Jackson and Jill Horn.
Musical composition created by Jay Nygaard.
Follow us on Instagram, YouTube, Twitch, Spotify, and more.